I'm here with H. Adam Harris, who plays part of the Lorax, and with Stephen Epp, who plays the Once-ler.
I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs, what on earth is that thing you have made from my truffula top?
So first, will one of you please remind us about the story of the Lorax?
The story of the Lorax is really the story of the Once-ler, man who ends up sort of through the power and desire of capitalism cutting down all of these trees. The Lorax shows up to warn him that you can't cut down these trees, that you're endangering, our environment and where we are. And the Once-ler continues to cut down tree after tree after tree, until there are no trees left. And so there's a showdown between the Lorax and the Once-ler, and the Lorax ends up saying, all right, this is what you've got. This is what you've left us with.
It's the harsh realization of our actions.
So, Stephen, what has the reaction been to the message of the Lorax?
You know, we would see a lot of kids after the shows. We would do autographs and meet people in the lobby, and it speaks so beautifully to a younger generation right now. It's a great show for all ages, for families, but the onus in terms of the message that I think Dr. Seuss was doing in the book, which is the hope is in the child, in the next generation, that maybe, if we're lucky, they'll save us. And it really comes through. It speaks very potently for everyone today. I mean, we can feel it everywhere. The world is in peril in terms of climate and environment, and that's really at the heart of what Theodore Geisel was doing.
And so his books were beautifully illustrated. I'll ask you, H, how does the magic of his illustrations come to life on stage?
There are a lot of different ways. I mean, there is the set, of course, which is sort of really sort of playing off of the image that you see in the original Lorax book. So the truffula trees descend and lift and rise. So you get all of that bright color in the costumes, and also, of course, in the puppetry. So we've got the Swami Swans, and we've got the Lorax himself, a puppet operated by myself, Megan Kreidler, and Rick Miller. And then we've got fish and all of this. So all of these sort of, the magical word of Dr. Seuss really sort of, it's almost like opening the book, and then there we are, sort of in your face on stage.
This question is for both of you. A big portion of your audience is children. So how does that affect your acting choices?
You know, I don't think you really, it's storytelling, and you can do Shakespeare for very small children if you do it the right way. You don't dumb it down, and you don't really play differently. You have to go at the characters and the storytelling with the same sincerity and investment and emotional power and efficacy that you would with any piece of theater. It's live theater, and whoever's in the room with you, that's who you're doing the show for.
Yeah, I think that there's sort of an idea that when it's children's theater that we're going to be doing things differently, but we're delivering sort of the same performances we'd give, committing to the character and what we're doing and why we're doing it. If anything, the stakes are higher, because the beautiful thing about adults, if they're bored, they'll just be bored in silence. Kids will let you know, this is boring. Kids will let you know, I don't believe it. And you're like, okay. So if anything, the stakes heighten, and so it's a greater challenge to us as actors than you might find in your every day. And I also think that the story becomes so important, and the reason why and the sort of necessity of the story is heightened when there are children and families in the audience.
I've been speaking with H. Adam Harris and Stephen Epp from the Lorax. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me today.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.